This is Pamela Kuhn, and the curtain is up on Center Stage, the show about the arts and the artists behind their work. The legend and late comedian and actor Robin Williams once said, "Comedy is acting out optimism." Victor Borge is quoted as saying, "Laughter is the closest distance between two people." I repeatedly speak on Center Stage about the paradox of art, and comedy just about defines the center point of that. Real life can be funny and tragically sad at the same time, but laughter enhances resilience and demolishes indifference. To me, the most jazzed comedians are those who have taken that resilience and stayed with the truth. My guest today has that nailed. I first saw comedian Brad Williams on his Fun Size special for Showtime, which still holds a record for the highest ratings. I have watched him in television, podcast, and film, most notably in the recent Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, directed by the late Rob Reiner. He was the first stand-up comedian to headline for Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas in their 30-year history. But it seems to be the live stage that turns this comedian on. And through one serendipitous moment, Brad Williams took the stage while still a kid and found he belonged there before he knew what his destiny was going to be. Brad Williams is now on tour with his latest show, Tall Tales. On May 31st, he will be at the Capitol Theater in Port Chester, New York. The New York Times says no one is doing stand-up comedy more hilariously than Brad Williams. You know what? If the New York Times says it, Brad, I believe it. I am thrilled to have you on Center Stage. Thank you for taking the time. What an
Yeah,
honor.
thank you. Pleasure is all mine. I'm thrilled to be here, and what an intro! I feel like, wow, does she know I tell a lot of dick jokes? Is because that was a
Uh-huh.
very lovely like NPR style, like we're doing the New Yorker, like I have to talk about high society, and that like I'll blend, but for the most part I'm still a punk rocker from Orange County, California. So, but I am thrilled to be here.
And I love that about you because my mom originally is from Pasadena, so I've got a big connection with Southern California, which I absolutely love.
SoCal.
And still to this day, I say to her, "Why didn't you stay there? You moved us up into the middle of nowhere in Oregon. I could have been a big star in California. Why did we leave?"
Sure.
Hey, I
Uh,
loved it there.
Good. Yeah, no, Pasadena, home of the world famous Ice House Comedy Club,
Hmm.
and where the people like the Smothers Brothers got their start. So,
I know, it's
yeah,
cool.
I'm a big fan of comedy history, and that's one of the more historical places.
And you and I have one more thing in common. During
You're a dwarf too? I did.
No.
It's not a full body shot on the Zoom, so I can't tell. I didn't know, but yeah, sure. That I didn't know I was talking to one of mine. That's great.
Brad, I am vertically challenged. I am totally vertically challenged. Do you know how tough that is for an opera singer on stage?
I can imagine because it all comes from the diaphragm, right? When the diaphragm's a little smaller, you gotta project a little bolder,
I
and
got to learn to really be beefy. I'm telling you, just like
yeah.
you do on stage all the time, which I admire. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yes, I'm 5 feet tall, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if
Well
you
done.
if you and I were going to bump chess, I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
might be a bit happier than, when you do it with a guy who's 6 feet tall, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, I'd either need a trampoline or an NDA, because of where I would end up. But that's fantastic. Yeah, 5 feet tall. It is amazing to me when people, and say this with all positivity.
Yeah.
It is amazing to me when, because people come up to me after shows and go like, "Man, I know how it is, man. I'm 5'2", and I'm like, I am 4'4". You are a foot taller than me. You don't know my life. You've never walked into a shoe store and said, "Hey, bring me out every shoe that fits me." And the only shoe they bring out has the lights blinking from it. You don't know this struggle. But like I said, I say that in jest. And no, I'm guessing you and I have a very similar shoe size, so we actually do have that in common.
We could trade shoes, Brad. This could be serious. I love that.
Well, my butt looks great in heels. No.
Okay. Oh, God help me in this interview. I love it. So the thing, getting back to what I was going to say that we have in common is that during COVID,
Hmm.
I actually hired you on Cameo to record a
Oh,
birthday greeting for my sister.
oh, wonderful. Thank you
And
for
it
doing that.
was. And Brad, I've got to say to you, I knew so little of your work up to that point. She told
Hmm.
me about you. I watched. I thought this is perfect for her birthday. And you were so generous with your time and your phrasing, the way you just gave her so much love in 2 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I
Uh,
think Cameo's brilliant, and I loved it during COVID.
yeah. Well, I mean, you could ask my wife. I can get a lot done in 2 minutes. But no, I enjoy doing the cameos. It is a way, one more way for me to connect to fans. And when I'm
Mhm.
not, touring your city, if you want to talk to me or have a message, or if someone's a fan, but I'm not going to be in their city for a while, they can have me wish them happy birthday, happy marriage, happy divorce. And it is a lot of fun. And I'm glad that your sister really enjoyed that. I took Cameo kind of saved me
It
during
did.
COVID because
Mhm.
all the shows were shut down, and that was one of the only ways I could make money. But I did do a couple drive-in shows. Those were fun, where I didn't hear any laughter, and I told people just if you laugh at the joke, blink your headlights, flash like so.
Oh my God, you did this?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I did that, and it was very strange to have. I went back home after the show, and my wife was like, "How did it go?" And I said, "Well, everyone flashed me, so it was great. It went well." Did that? Did Zoom comedy shows, which were very interesting. But you just do what you do to survive, and
That's right.
that's what um I really appreciate about stand up, and is that never once did I think, "Oh, let me pivot. Let me do something else." Is
Right. Right.
artists find a way to do their art. One of my favorite stories about comedy is there's a tale about a guy who ran into Jerry Seinfeld and Michael Richards having lunch at a restaurant, and he walked up to them and said that he's a big fan and blah blah blah, and was just talking to Jerry, and he said, "I'm thinking about getting into comedy myself." And Michael Richards looks up and goes, "You'll never make it." And the guy's like, "Well, what do you mean? What you don't know if I'm good. You don't know if I'm funny." And Michael Richards responds, "Well, you said I'm thinking about getting
Mm.
into it."
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Artists have to do this.
You
There
got
is
it.
no thinking about it. There is no other option. There is
That's right.
no fallback plan. There is, I gotta go and I gotta do this. And while I don't support everything Michael Richards has said on a stage, I
Right. Yeah.
certainly, yeah, I certainly love that little anecdote.
I love that. Same for my field. I'm telling my tribe. Same exact
Hmm.
thing for my tribe.
Hmm.
And
Well, yeah, because comedy, like you could be the funniest person at the office, but I don't know if you could be the best opera singer on the wait staff.
yeah,
Like that doesn't really work out as well if
yeah,
if you're
I get it.
if you're bringing someone's moons over my hammy while you're doing something from the Barber of Seville.
There you go. You do know opera. I love it.
I know a few. I my what I love about being a comic is that I don't know a lot about anything. I know a little about everything. So you can drop me in any room and I'll be okay. I'll
See,
survive.
this is the thing, and that's what I said in my intro. It's about that resilience and that honesty. And
Hmm.
when I coach all my singers who I teach now to get up on stage, the first thing I talk about is honesty. You've made this work for yourself, speaking about your own life situation,
Sure.
and it's fantastic. I
Thank
mean,
you.
you've got a you've got a big presence, Brad.
Thank you.
Gotta say that.
Well, it's something that you just no matter how many times people tell you in comedy, and it's like this in a lot of walks of life, is authenticity is the key. You can't look
Mhm.
at what's trending and be like, oh, I'll incorporate that because I'll incorporate that into my art because it's trendy. You can't do that. If you want your art to be the absolute best it can be, it has to be authentic to you.
Mhm.
Like I can't go on stage and so one of the more popular comedians right now is a comedian named Matt Rife, who is
Mhm.
selling out arenas all over the country, and he is famous for his crowd work. I can't do that and go, oh, so crowd work. That's how I get successful. And then you just do that. Like that's Matt's thing. That's what he does. That's what he's really good at. So my thing is something else. My thing is personal stories, long form storytelling, and littered with punchlines every 15 to 20 seconds. That is my thing. So
Mhm. Okay.
the same way I can't do crowd work like Matt Rife, he can't do autobiographical stories about being a 4'4" white guy from Orange County. So we kind of have our lanes. And when you're authentic to yourself and you stick to what you
Mhm.
love and what you know, it'll come out in the art. The audience can spot a fake. They
That's for
can.
sure. Oh man, and how. So let's
Hmm.
get back to that serendipitous moment I spoke about originally. That
Sure.
first time when I think you were 19 and you and your
Yep.
dad went
Hmm.
to a stand-up comedian who,
Hmm.
Carlos Mencia,
Yep.
and things got a little uncomfortable. Tell me, I just need to know about this story more. Did
Yeah.
you encourage your father to go to the show, or was
Yeah.
it his idea?
No, I brought him because of Mencia's point of view. I thought that my dad would really like it, and so I brought him for Father's Day. And we're in the audience, and Mencia starts making midget jokes, and half the audience is laughing, and the audience that is sitting around me is like,
Right, right.
and Mencia notices that and he says, why aren't you guys laughing? These are funny jokes. And he's like, and he stops and goes, is one of them here? And I raised my creepy little hand in the air and said, "Yeah." And he immediately called me up on stage, and he started asking me questions. He's like, "I want to know more about you. If I'm going to joke about you, I want to know about you and be accurate." So he asked me some questions, and I answered the questions honestly. I wasn't trying to be funny,
Right.
but my answers got laughs. He asked me what I did for a living at the time. 19-year-old kid, Orange County, California. I did what a lot of kids do in Orange County. I worked at Disneyland.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I said, I work at Disneyland. The audience sees how I look and they start to laugh. And I turn to them and I say, shut up. I'm not one of the seven. And that got a laugh. And man, that was the aha moment. That was the lightning bolt. That was the oh, this feels really good. And I didn't know how to be a comedian. To me, like I wanted to be a comedian, but when you say I want to be a comedian in your age 16, it's kind of like saying you want to be an Avenger. Like it's like, yeah,
Right,
sure, we all
right.
do, but how? How do you do it?
Yeah.
And back then when I started, there wasn't all these podcasts kind of explaining it.
Mhm.
So I just started going to open mic nights, any coffee shop, any whatever that had a open mic. I'd go to that. And a mere 22 years later, I'm an overnight success. Who knew?
Yeah, I know. That's how it goes, those overnight successes. I want to get
Hmm.
back to your dad. That was probably the best Father's Day present you could have given him. Like,
It was the best. It was certainly the best one I could have given myself because it launched a career. But no, my dad and I always bonded over humor
mhm,
and always loved it. He was a trial attorney, and he would tell me that humor would kind of get the jury on his side,
mhm,
and it helped talk, the day when you're talking about sometimes horrendous things. Uh,
mhm.
and he would explain that to me, and he explained to me and that he got me to tell icebreaker jokes when I meet people. He's
Okay.
like, Brad, when people meet you, like let's call it what it is. You're a little different, and people will have that in their head. So you talk about it, tell a joke, break the ice, and then you can move on and have a normal conversation. And it's funny because I do that with my stand up. Like I will start off usually with the dwarf jokes because I know that when I walk on stage, if I don't talk about it, the entire audience just stares at me like, does he know? And it's like, yeah, I'm aware. So we get that out of the way, and then it allows me to move into different types of topics.
I love that. I love that. So this
Hmm.
started from a very early age with you, him preparing you for facing life. And
Yeah.
and is it true that for punishment he would like threaten to set you up on a countertop?
Yes. Very, very, very true. Pick me up, put me on a counter, leave. That was my punishment sometimes. And but the thing was is uh my dad knew that as someone who is different, and my dad is not a little person, by the way. Not a little person. We've looked, there are no dwarves in my family. If you shake my family tree, a Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey clown does not fall out. There is nothing there. So uh, my dad knew that I'd be made fun of and bullied as a child. So what he and I would do is we would sit there and write comebacks. We would write retorts to bullies, and we would practice them and prepare them. So by the time I got to school, if a kid said anything, I was like, "Oh, you have no idea what you just walked into." Like I have trained for this, I have prepared for this. It's like shoving a guy at a diner, and then and then the guy turns out to be a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. Like it's that's what it was like. And
Right.
also that's why when people yell stuff out at my shows now, I almost want to look at him like, "Oh, honey, you have no idea what you just
Oh
did."
yeah.
Like,
Oh boy.
I have all the tricks. I have trained for this. This is your first time talking in front of 1,200 people. I do this every day. So, um, I remember I got sent to the principal's office on the very first day of school because a kid just walked up and went, "Ha ha, you're little," and I went, "Ha ha, your mom doesn't live with your dad anymore." And I grew up in Orange County, so pretty good chance of getting that one right, and it
Right.
did. And I got sent to the principal's office for having the better joke.
Well, kudos to you. I love that.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
but besides that, that takes a lot of security and confidence. Is that something you were just born with, Brad? I get the impression
Uh,
you were. I mean, to a certain degree.
well, my therapist would tell you it's a lot of deflecting.
Okay,
It's a lot of
fair enough.
it's a lot of to me. I knew that I was different, so I knew that if I was the funny guy, everyone wants a funny friend.
That's right.
Everyone
Right.
wants that. Everyone is attracted to that. So I knew that if I could do that, that would really help me be friends. And also, um I have other friends who are little people, some who have gone through life very angry,
Uh-huh.
and justifiably so. I'm not trying to deny their feelings, but while it is what they feel, it doesn't make everyone around them feel very comfortable. And and so while I still might be annoyed, or I might be angry, or I might be whatever, I know that for me the best way to solve that problem is not for me to yell and scream and, forgive the pun, belittle, but it is best for me to use positivity, use humor, and people are more likely to listen. So that's what I do on stage is if you notice, even when I'm talking about something that maybe didn't go well for me,
Uh-huh.
I'm smiling on stage, and I do that a because I think it's funny, but also to let the audience know I'm okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it, because sometimes an audience can look at someone who they perceive to be different and say like, "Oh my God, their life must be so horrible," and I'm letting them know like, "No, it's a great life. It's a lot of fun." So yeah,
You've made it work. Okay.
yeah, and but all this is just stuff you find out after, in my case, a 22-year career. Like I didn't go into comedy with this knowledge. You have to develop it and learn it, just like anything.
Absolutely. So after that moment where you were on stage and you suddenly have this aha cathartic moment, okay, this really works. This is
Yeah,
what I've been planning for all my life, really. I
yeah,
mean, really. So you
yeah.
start doing the open mic nights Is it
Hmm.
also true? I read something that you were being served a ticket or something by a policeman, and you had a slot and you had to get back into it, and you ran back in.
Yes, that's a true story. There was an open mic called Marv and Mary's out here in Southern California, and I got pulled over for, I don't know what I did, but then I literally had to tell the cop, "Hey, I have a 2 minute spot. I've been like, this is my life right now. Can I just run in and do this and then come back? I'll leave the car. Like it's fine." Like,
Yeah,
and so he let me do it. So dwarf privilege. All right. And I ran in, did it, and then ran
and
back
back
out.
out.
So
You were
so
good for your
that
word.
yeah, so that open mic cost me like $120 or whatever the hell it was.
So how long did it take you with all this to really hone what you'd done and suddenly realize, maybe I can make a living at this?
um so my story is different than a lot of comedians, and I'm firmly aware of that. Uh, at about 3 years in, I started going around and touring as an opening act. That is a lot faster than a lot of people. Now, that is not to say I deserved it, or that is not to say that I earned it more than others, but it just kind of worked out. So about 3 or 4 years in, I was like, oh, this is good. This is working, and I can make this work for me. And yeah, I had that confidence. Now the trouble was convincing my parents that it was going to be okay, because
Yeah.
I was 1 year away from graduating from USC, and that's when I dropped out to do stand up comedy full time.
Oh boy.
So yeah, that's a fun conversation to have. And I lied to them. I said, "Yeah, I'm going to go back." I knew I wasn't going back.
And you were in communications, I believe.
Yeah, I was a communications major, so don't worry. When I dropped out, we didn't lose a cancer cure. We didn't like,
I mean,
it's not like, oh no, what would society have been if only Brad
exactly.
Williams had gotten his communications degree? Like it's fine. We didn't lose a lot of human achievement. So,
But
but
there's a
yeah,
certain irony in that too, Brad. In communications, I mean, you would have been eventually in front of a camera, I think.
yeah, I was trying to be. I was trying to be a broadcast journalist. I was trying to be a sports announcer. I
Yeah.
was trying to
Yeah.
be, because my dad told me it'd be really funny if I interviewed basketball players, and
Absolutely.
it's hilarious because I've gotten to do that now. I was sent out to a red carpet not too long ago for the LA Lakers, and I got to interview a bunch of them, and that
Oh,
was wild because I'm just like, this is what I was originally trying to do. And now I'm doing it. It was this weird full circle moment.
oh my God, I love this.
Yeah.
Okay, so here you are touring, and how many mentors did you have along the way?
Oh man. So
I'm big on
many.
mentoring, Brad. I really believe in
Yeah.
giving back, and I know how important it is for artists along the way because mentors
Yeah.
make the difference. They just do.
So many. I could go through just a few of them.
Hmm.
The comedian who I saw that night who got me up on stage,
Hmm.
Carlos Mencia, he was a mentor because I was his opening act for 4 years.
Wow.
Christopher Titus, the comedian, Christopher Titus was a mentor. He truly taught me how to do longer stories and be
Mm.
comfortable with the silences and talk about really dramatic stuff, where some people
Wow.
might be uncomfortable, but then you have the joke in the end that is the snapback that brings them back. And he taught me how to do that. Various club owners who guided me, agents, managers, a couple of ex-girlfriends, not gonna lie. So yeah, there was and of course my parents. So there were many mentors.
Hmm.
But they all left their own mark. Like I could go through, and when I do something on the road, or I have this uh crossroads in my career, I can go, oh yeah, this is Titus. Oh, this is Mencia. Oh, this is my mom. This is Frank Kelly
Hmm.
from the
Interesting.
Irvine Improv. This is what he talked about. Like, so you can really pick and choose.
That's beautiful.
Uh, from a bunch of different mentors.
Wow, I love that. Huh. So, one thing I've always wondered, I mean, and I've never interviewed a comedian in my life.
Mm,
How do you guys work up to getting on stage? I know as a singer, I know how I do it.
yeah.
I can't imagine how you guys get revved, or is there a process for you, Brad?
Um, I would say this, and it's so strange because I am more comfortable on stage than I am off stage. And that blows a lot of people's minds because
Hmm.
public speaking is the number one fear.
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld has this joke that people fear public speaking more than death, which is true.
Right. Right.
So people would rather be in the coffin than giving the eulogy, and that's a true statement. So, but I am more comfortable on stage. On stage, I am in control. I have a goal. I
Mm.
know that. All right, very simple. Make these people laugh. That is the only thing that's going through my head. But I am in control of it. When I'm off stage, there are social norms I have to adhere to. I have to let other people talk. So annoying. And I have to sort of, there's a lot of other bumpers and boundaries that I have to adhere by. So I truly love being on stage more, like I said, more than being off stage. So for me, I don't have to work myself up to go up there.
Right.
It's where I want to be. And the truth is, when you've been doing this as long as I have, I don't fear bombing because
Mhm.
I've done that before. And
Yeah.
so now if a joke doesn't work, I look at it more as a math problem. Like, oh, why didn't that joke work? It's not that I'm not funny or I'm not good. It's that, oh, I did something weird with that. So I'll address that later. And now how do I get this audience back? Okay, I could pull this joke here. I could move this around. I could do like it's that scene from Minority Report with Tom Cruise where he's got the screens and he's going around. And like
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Mhm.
doing in my head
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
trying to get people back. It's a giant math problem to me, which is ironic because I hate math.
Yeah, yeah, me too. And I'm a musician. I remember
Hmm.
watching George Carlin back in my youth, and he would be doing the same thing. He'd be trying to figure out what worked, and he was so
Yep.
real about it. I mean, just admitting, well, okay, moving on.
Yeah.
And
Oh
that,
no. If you address the bomb, it's that whole thing of being authentic and being honest.
yeah,
Address the bomb. You'll get a laugh. If you say something and it doesn't work, say like, "Well, I thought that was going to go better," uh, and you'll get them back because you're appearing as a human being. You're not. When you do that, people realize you're a human. You're not a robot on stage. You're not sticking to a script. You're not. You have emotion. You have feelings just like everybody else, and it really will adhere you to the audience. So if you're bad, embrace that, and that'll kind of work your way up to being good again.
who are your favorite comedians you look up to or admire or reflect on?
I'm staring at one right now. He's not in the room with me, but I have a painting of him. It's Robin Williams.
Oh, yes.
He and I got to perform for Robin one time. I did not know he was in the audience. Thank God.
Oh my
Uh,
Lord.
it was at the Throckmorton Theater in Mill Valley, California. I do the show. I get off stage. Robin Williams bursts into the green room after my show and runs up to me and goes, "Oh my God, Mr. Williams, you're like Prozac with a head."
Yes, I read that quote.
And the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. I don't know if you can get a better compliment than Prozac with a head. So yeah, loved Robin. Really looked up to him, his mind, how quick he was, how he
Oh,
understood
yeah.
the assignment of Robin knew that when people met him, they expected him to be funny. They needed him to be funny, and he would give that to people. Um, and I truly loved that about him. And yeah, like I said, Christopher Titus, love that guy. I love what Bill Burr and Jim Jeffries are doing right
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
And there's a comedian from I think from Scotland named Daniel Sloss who I really enjoy. I really um he has a couple of specials. Watch the special Jigsaw and
Jigsaw. Okay.
don't watch it with your partner in the room. That's
Okay.
that's all I'll say. But but he is really good and really introspective and taking dark material and making it funny. So yeah, love all those guys. But then there's so many things that you can love about comedy right now because there's no one style of comedy. Look at what Taylor Tomlinson is doing, being so personal and so open and
Hmm.
so talking about her struggles and her
Hmm.
struggles with mental health. Uh, what Hannah Gatsby did a few years ago is phenomenal. You have roast comics, you have dirty comics, clean comics. Nate Bargatze is selling out arenas, not saying a curse word. It's an amazing time for comedy right now because you could truly, there's not one type of comedy. You could truly find what speaks to you, which is wonderful.
But also with the world the way it is right now, we need it. We need comedy. It's
Yeah.
it's getting back to resilience again, isn't it? You know?
Yeah. And the some people, what, the quotes you read in the beginning, those
Yeah.
were really very nice quotes. What is the shortest point between two people is
Closest
comedy?
distance between two people is
Yeah.
laughter.
Yeah. And that is something that I address in my current show where we're gonna laugh for an hour or so, and then I'm gonna point out to the fact that you're now in a room with over 1,200 strangers, and right now no one cares who you voted for, no one cares who you pray to, no one cares what race you are. We are all bonded together in one simple thought, which is, wow, that dwarf is funny. And I really like that. And that's what comedy can be, is because if you look at the roast that happened the other night, Kevin Hart roast. For those who watched it,
Right.
inside baseball, you have some people on that stage that truly despise each other, and but they're all laughing together.
That's
So
right.
and you had Cat Williams come out and with Kevin Hart, who they when Cat walked out, I was watching it with my wife, and I went, "Oh, they don't like each other." Because I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be interesting." Like that made me adjust my seat. But then they squashed it in the end. Why? Because they're there for the same reason. They're there to make people laugh. La- uh, Laughter. That's such a great quote. It is
It
the
is.
closest distance between two people, and so come to my show, and you're gonna feel really close with 1,200 people. It's gonna be
I
wonderful.
I love it. I can't wait on May 31st for us here in
Yeah.
Connecticut and New York around Portchester and at the Capitol Theater. Listen,
Hmm.
Brad, before you go, and I know your time is short, I just want to
So
ask.
am I. Time is short, and so am I.
Oh my God, I
Sorry, I
walked
had
into
to.
that one, didn't I?
I
Oh,
didn't.
jeez.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's
I
just
love
like, come
that.
on, man.
I
I
love
had
that.
to.
Um, if we meet one of these days, I want you to teach
Uh
me
huh.
how to tell a joke. I mean, because I'm like the original, off-footed person all the time. I can't.
Yeah.
But anyway, I look forward to that. But listen, tell me, you've got this beautiful family. You've got this
Hmm.
gorgeous wife. I think she's a
Yep.
taekwondo instructor of
She
all
is.
things. How
She
did you
is.
meet?
We met on a dating app.
No, no.
Yeah, we met on a dating app, and I don't know what my default photo was or what I did to make this 5'7" stunning Chinese woman go, yeah, him. Because as as I'm firmly aware, you look at me, look at her. I was not her dream man. Like if you look at like she was not a little girl telling all her friends that, "Oh, I can't wait to shop for my husband in the kids section." Like she wasn't saying things like that. So I had but what I tell people is I had to become a good person to meet someone like my wife. So
Ah,
if I had met her in my 20s, I don't know if we would have worked out. But through life experiences and perspective and a little bit of therapy, I feel like I'm a person who is worthy of someone like her. So and every day
thrilling.
I I try to make sure that I keep this lovely little family of mine because it's great. I'm a father. We have a 6-year-old together, and who's just now starting to realize the power of humor and sass.
Uh-oh.
So I look at my wife all the time. I go, sorry, that's me. That's me. What she just did, that's me. So but it's a lot of fun, and having a family um makes you live for something bigger than yourself. And
Absolutely.
so I'm really enjoying this ride.
As I understand, your daughter's name is Elway.
Hmm.
You
That's
know,
correct.
it's kind of like it's either a name from a fantasy novel, like Lord of the Rings, or we know you really are a dyed-in-the-wool football fanatic.
Yeah, it's the latter. It's I didn't name her Peyton Manning, but it was close. So yeah, I'm a big time Broncos fan. So, and it was actually my wife's idea. I will say this a million times. It was my wife's idea because my wife is a hippie from San Francisco, and she wanted a lot of these new age type names. And I wanted traditional, let's be honest, boring names. That's what I was focused on, and we're arguing about names. She looks on my wall, and there's a signed John Elway jersey that I had, and she goes, "What about Elway?" And I'm like, you just said my favorite quarterback. I can't turn this down." So, yeah,
Your wife is
yeah,
majorly cool.
yeah.
Majorly cool. I love
I
this. And I'm sure your
Yes.
daughter is too, and she'll give you a run for the money. I
Oh,
have
she
no
is.
time at all.
She's already going up on stage. We run a cruise, and there was a arts and crafts station, and it was in the same room as a stage. She could give two craps about the arts and crafts. She saw a stage and ran up on it and started dancing and
Yep.
singing and telling knock knock jokes to kids, and she was yelling at me like, "Daddy, come dance with me." So okay, one day you're not gonna want me to do this, so I'm gonna embrace every moment of this. And I run up on stage, I start dancing with her, and then you literally heard some of the adults in the audience like, "Wait, is that Brad Williams? Like, is there a show about to happen? Like, is this gonna?" No, my show is not Disney Cruise appropriate. So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying being a family man. If you asked me in my 20s if I was gonna be a family man, I would have told you no. Um, in fact, I think I talked about that in my first special.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then now I am, and I'm loving it. I'm embracing it, and wouldn't change a thing.
You're on this world tour. I mean, how do you handle this? Do you like perform in Berlin and
Mhm.
then fly back home, you know, and then fly back to, the Netherlands?
Yeah, yeah. There is a world tour aspect to this in December, going to places like Berlin, Netherlands, Sweden, London, Scotland. Uh, so yeah, that's one where I just kind of go and stay out there and do my thing for like 2.5 weeks. But there, I don't know if anyone's figured out this whole work life balance thing. We're trying. I'm getting better at it. My record for travel is 48 weeks out of 52.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah,
Lord.
that can't my family my family are delightful people. I would really like to get to know them. So now it's a balance of like 22 to 25 weeks, and
That's a lot.
it's a lot do doable. But the key thing is what do you want to achieve? If I
Mhm.
just want to, am I going for money? Okay, that's one thing. Am I going to get better? Am I going to work my art, work my craft? Okay, what also, my daughter didn't choose this life, and what she needs is a dad, so I'm going to try to
Yeah,
be around for her
there you
as
go.
much as I can, because that's what she needs, and that's what she deserves.
And
So
just as your dad was there for you, I love it.
yep, yep.
Brad, you have been so generous with your time. I really appreciate it and your honesty and everything. I love this. But just before you slip away, I
Sure.
need to ask you two of my signature questions.
Go for it. I was waiting for these.
Okay. So you have the ability to have dinner with someone for one night who has
Hmm.
passed from this earth. In fact, you can have a whole table of people. I've had, people who said they want to have Jesus and Socrates and Shakespeare at the
Hmm.
same table. But who would you invite to dinner for one evening?
My dad.
I knew it. I knew it.
No, no question, no hesitation. You could tell me Carlin, you could tell me George Burns, you could tell me Jonathan
Mhm.
Winters, Robin Williams, you could all the greatest comedians who have ever lived. And yeah, just to have one more night with my dad, I would give the absolute world for.
Yeah, I bet the conversation would really be amazing, especially with
It'd be
regards to
fun.
your family.
Yep. Thankfully, he got to know all of them
Oh,
before he passed. Like, so
I'm so pleased.
his last words were "I love her," which is looking at my daughter. So yeah, so
Oh my gosh.
we got the fairy tale ending that you all want, but that's how much death sucks. Is you got the fairy tale ending and it still hurts and it's still a lot of pain, but I am reminded that the only reason why I have this pain is that I am lucky enough to have a fantastic father.
I know.
So the pain is really someone said um uh grief is love with nowhere to go, and I try to remember
Mm.
that. So grief is just me having a lot of love and not knowing where to put it and having nowhere to put it. So I try to put it in other places. But I am lucky enough to have a father whom I miss terribly and who I loved dearly and who I still think about every day.
Oh, that's so fantastic. I feel a biopic coming on.
I
Um,
hope so.
we
You know
know,
what? But even if there was a biopic about me, it would probably still be starring Peter Dinklage. That
I
guy
know,
gets everything. That guy gets everything.
we
My
can't
God.
have that. No, 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 no. We can't have that. Game of Thrones, no, no, no.
Sure, sure,
Okay.
sure.
And secondly, is there one word or phrase that which defines who you are to the depth of your soul, Brad Williams? I can't wait for
Yes.
this.
So, all right, I'm gonna say it, but just know that it sounds messed up at first. So let me just take a moment once I say it, and then I'll explain it. All right.
Okay.
The phrase that defines me is nobody cares about you. Now, like I said, that sounds awful. That sounds horrible. Wait, that phrase was given to me by an improv comedy instructor, and he said it
Hmm.
to kind of get us out of our own head. Like, just remember, nobody cares.
Hmm.
If you're on stage and you bomb, nobody cares. They're
Yeah.
out there thinking, oh my God, what would it be like if I was on stage? What would it be like if I bombed? And
Hmm.
in 2 days, they'll forget about that moment and you'll see them on the street and they won't know what you did. So, and it's just I said the phrase is there to just kind of remind you, hey, stop being in your head. Stop thinking that every single person is thinking about you because they're not. They have their own lives, they're running their own deals, they have their own problems. So the approval and the thoughts of others should not be a reason why you do or do not do something. It should be about what it can do for some people, what it can do for yourself, what the help that it can give, the love that it can cause. That should be your motivator, not, oh well, what's the neighborhood going to think about me?
Right.
What are who are these people going to think about me? And in terms of comedy and being a performer, yeah, it you'll be so much freer on stage when you realize, oh, nobody gives a shit. Nobody
Right.
cares.
That's right.
And so I know it's harsh to hear at first, but that's and I have other mantras, but that's just the first one that popped into my head.
I love that. That's what I want on this show. That is a
Hmm.
fantastic answer. That will go
Hmm.
down in history, Brad, as one of my top 10. I
Love it.
adore that. Listen, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to be with me. This has been incredible. And
Well, it was your first time with a comedian, so I wanted to go easy on you. Didn't want to say the C word too many times. I think I avoided it. So yeah, this was a great conversation. I really enjoyed talking with you, and I enjoy all artists that are really passionate about something, and there's so many different types out there. So whether you're an opera singer, you're a actor, you're a street performer, like
that's right.
you're like, I as you mentioned in the intro, I worked on Cirque du Soleil. I got to meet acrobats that are just incredible in what they
Yeah.
do.
Me
So
too.
I'm fascinated by any artist because they have dedicated their life to something where the goal is like, you could have a goal to make money, sure, but if you're truly an artist, you're not doing it for the money. That's a wonderful bonus that you'll get to incur, uh, but there is no guarantee. You don't work for
Mm,
10 years as a ventriloquist, and they go, okay, you've hit your 10 years, here's the money. Like, that's, it's not guaranteed to be there. You know this as an opera singer.
right.
Um, so I truly enjoyed speaking with anyone who dedicated their life to something because they had to, because they had no other choice. They go like, no, I have to do this. This is the only thing that will make me happy and fulfilled. And it's I love speaking to those types of people.
It's a burn. It's a desire. It's that deep-seated everything. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. I totally get where you're at. Well,
Hmm.
I'm going to be there on May 31st at the Capitol Theater, and everybody out there, you've got to go to thecapitoltheater.org, I believe, to check out tickets and all ticket sites to see Brad Williams. You know Brad, the last comedian I saw there?
Who?
Big shoes, Eddie Izzard.
Oh, Eddie. Oh my God.
It was such an incredible show. After he did
Yeah.
about an hour and a half, he says, I'm going to take a little break and come back for part two. And we were all dumbfounded. You know how brilliant he,
Yeah, yeah,
she,
yeah, yeah,
he, she
yeah.
is.
Su Susie,
Susie.
I think Susie is her name now.
That's correct.
But performing as Eddie Izzard I'm trying to be respectful of her. So, yeah, that's she's awesome. That I saw Eddie perform one time before, and it was truly one of those moments where I just take all my notes and go, well, let's throw these out and I gotta try this again. So
Yeah.
those are big shoes to fill, but I am confident you will have just as much fun at my show as you did at Eddie's.
Hey, yeah, because you're going to borrow a pair of my shoes, Brad, and then we're going to do just fine. I,
Yeah, and like we said, my ass is gonna look amazing. It's gonna be so fun.
Listen, I wish you all the very best. And I've just got one thing to say, and this has been real. And I
Mm,
appreciate that. I really
hey,
appreciate it. Everybody, you can find me Center Stage with Pamela Kuhn on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube and everywhere out there, and at WGCH Talk Radio in Greenwich, Connecticut. And I hope you'll help me support the arts along the way, no matter what. Brad Williams, I'm going to give you the biggest thank you in the world and a virtual hug. I'm happy to say I didn't try to lick your face, as I know one of your fans did. But hey,
yeah, it's been wild. That's why I prefer the Zoom interviews.
all the best to you and to all my listeners out there. Stay safe. This is Pamela Kuhn, and the curtain is now down on Center Stage.